Hello and welcome to Lesson 1 of our Modern ACOL Bridge course, which follows on from our foundation course Playing Mini Bridge. In this lesson we introduce the auction process, starting with one-level opening bids. If you're a student in our school, you will have access to our supporting handouts and practice exercises for each lesson. They're all available on our website. And if you attend one of our beginner courses, you'll be able to join in our supervised live real bridge sessions, playing hands designed to support each lesson. Okay, let's get going with Lesson 1. When playing mini bridge, the process of deciding the contract was very simple. If your side had the majority of the points, then your side would have won the contract. And whichever partner had the majority of the points would declare the contract and play the hand, and her partner would be dummy. And with 25 or more points, the declarer would look to bid a game contract in order to get the game bonus, but with fewer than 25 points, would settle for a part score contract with a target of 7 tricks. But when we move on from mini bridge to bridge, the right to win the contract is decided by an auction process. Let's see how a typical auction works. First of all, a reminder on how the suits are ranked. The lowest suit is clubs, the next suit up is diamonds, and these two suits are often described as the minor suits. Next we have hearts and then spades, collectively known as the major suits. And no trumps is the highest ranked of all. Note that the ranking of the 4 suits is in alphabetical order: C for clubs, D for diamonds, H for hearts, and S for spades. And in mini bridge we also learned the importance of having an 8-card fit. If there is a fit, it's usually better to have that suit as trumps, especially if the suit is a major. And if there's not a fit, it's usually better to choose no trumps. Playing mini bridge, the declarer can see partner's hand before having to decide what the contract's going to be. For example, should the contract be in a trump suit or in no trumps, and should declare a contract to make a game contract or settle for a part score. But in full-blown bridge, no one can see dummy until the contract has been announced and the opening lead has been made. The auction process is really a language where partners exchange information about their strength and shape by taking turns at making bids until there are 3 consecutive passes. And at that point the pair that have bid last will have won the auction. Here's a table showing all the bids that are possible in bridge. There are 35 in total. The cheapest bid of all is 1 club, which means that the bidder is contracting to make 7 tricks with clubs as trumps, so 6 base tricks plus 1. The next cheapest bid is 1 diamond, contracting to make 7 tricks with diamonds as trumps. And the next cheapest bid after that is 1 heart, contracting to make 7 tricks with hearts as trumps. And then 1 spade, contracting to make 7 tricks with spades as trumps. And then 1 no trump, contracting to make 7 tricks with no trump suit. And the next cheapest bid is 2 clubs, contracting to make 8 tricks with clubs as trumps, and so on. Now let's suppose that the player who starts the auction makes a bid of 1 spade, and the player on his left is next to make a call and has lots of hearts and wants to bid hearts. He can't bid 1 heart because that is a cheaper bid than 1 spade, so he has to bid 2 hearts or else pass. The highest bid that can be made is 7 no trumps. The bidder is contracting to make all 13 tricks, that's 6 base tricks plus 7, playing the contract without any suit being trumps. Let's have a look at an example auction and see if we can figure out what's going on. When players arrive at a table, they will sit at one of the 4 seats: north, east, south or west. The first board in a session usually has north as dealer. The second board will have east as dealer, then south, and then west, and then back to north for the 5th board, and so on. Here deal 1 is being played, so Louise, sitting north, is the first to call. Louise might pass with a weak hand, but suppose she's got a reasonable hand and good clubs and makes an opening bid of 1 club. The auction continues clockwise, with the next player, Mary, sitting east, passing. Louise's partner, Margaret, sitting south, now bids 1 spade, and Steve, sitting west, now bids 2 diamonds. Now back to Louise in the north seat, and Louise bids 2 spades. Mary passes, Margaret passes, and Steve passes, and after 3 consecutive passes, the auction is over. Let's run through that auction again. Louise's 1 club bid is contracting to make 7 tricks with clubs as trumps. That's 6 base tricks plus 1. Mary, sitting east, has a poor hand with nothing to say, so she passes. Margaret, sitting south, has a reasonable hand with nice spades, but is not keen on partner's clubs, so describes her hand by bidding 1 spade. And now it's back to Steve, sitting west. Well, Steve has a reasonable hand and enters the auction by bidding 2 diamonds, contracting to make 8 tricks in diamonds. That's 6 base tricks plus 2. And now it's back to Louise, sitting north, who now bids 2 spades, partner's suit. This says, I like your spades, partner, and I'm happy for our side to contract to make 8 tricks with spades as trumps. Mary, sitting east, now passes, not interested in partner's diamonds. And Margaret also passes, happy to play in a 2 spade contract, but not strong enough to bid any higher. And now Steve, sitting west, also passes, giving up. And after 3 consecutive passes, the auction is over. So the contract is 2 spades by the north-south pair. And because Margaret, sitting south, was the first to bid the trump suit, spades, it's Margaret that will be declarer, and her partner, Louise, sitting north, will be dummy. To open the bidding, you do need some decent values in your hand, and the time-honoured way of evaluating your hand to see if it is worth an opening bid is as follows. For each ace in your hand, give yourself 4 points, and for each king, give yourself 3 points, and for each queen, give yourself 2 points, and for each jack, give yourself 1 point. These are called honour points or high card points. As you can see, there are 10 points in each of the 4 suits. 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1 adds up to 10, and with 4 suits, that's 40 points. So on an average day, you can expect to have a quarter of the points, 10. And to open the bidding, you need a bit more than that. The good guideline is 12 honour points to open the bidding. Most of the time, you'll open the bidding at the 1 level in one of the 4 suits. 1 club, 1 diamond, 1 heart, or 1 spade. And in doing so, you're letting partner know that this is your longest or your joint longest suit, so at least 4 cards in the suit, and that you've got at least 12 points, but it could be up to 19, maybe even 20 points. For the rare blockbuster hands with more than 20 points, you would use special gadgets that we'll learn about much later. But there is one very common type of hand where, playing the popular UK ACOL system, we would open 1 no trump rather than one of a suit. And that is when you've got a hand that has got between 12 and 14 points, that's a narrow range, and a balanced shape. We call this 1 no trump opening bid the weak no trump opening bid. That's because in some other systems throughout the world, other than ACOL, an opening 1 no trump bid shows a stronger hand, might be 15 to 17 points, in which case it would be called a strong no trump. But it's the weak no trump that we will be using throughout this course. So what do we mean by a balanced hand? Well, a balanced hand has got no suit with just one card in it, that's known as a singleton, and no suit with no cards in it, that's known as a void. And a balanced hand can have one suit with just two cards in it, that's known as a doubleton, but must not have two doubletons. There are three hand shapes suitable for opening a weak one no trump, providing that the hand has 12 to 14 points, and that is the 4-4-3-2 shape, that's the most common one, the 5-3-3-2 shape, and the least common shape, 4-3-3-3, often referred to as a flat hand shape. So let's look at this hand. Are we good enough to open the bidding? Well, let's count our points. We've got 5 in spades, 1 in hearts, 8 in clubs, and none in diamonds. That's 14 points, so we're certainly good enough to open the bidding. But do we open one no trump, or do we open in a suit? Well, now look at the shape. Well, we've got no singleton, and we've got no void. We've only got one doubleton, that's the doubleton spade. So it's balanced. And if it's got 14 points and balanced, we open it, one no trump. Now I've tweaked the hand a little. I've removed one small diamond and added one small club. And now the hand has two doubletons, one in spades and one in diamonds. So it's no longer balanced. But we've got 14 points, so we must open. We must open in a suit. But which one? Is it hearts or is it clubs? Let's run through some important rules for opening in a suit. The first rule is that if you have got one suit that is longer than the others, then you must open in that suit. So what about this hand? Well, here you open one spade. And that's even though your heart suit is much more powerful in high card point strength. Playing with spades as trumps, your small spades will win tricks. But in a heart contract, they will be useless. And your heart honours will win tricks when playing with spades as trumps once all the opponent's spades have been drawn. And now for the second rule. If you have two suits with 4 cards in each and your hand is unsuitable for opening one no trump, always bid the higher ranked suit, except when you've got 4 hearts and 4 spades, in which case bid hearts rather than spades. So, applying our opening suit rule, what would we open with these hands? Well, they're all balanced, but they're all too strong to open one no trump. With the first, our 2 4-card suits are spades and diamonds, so we open the higher ranked suit, spades. We open one spade. With the second hand, our 2 4-card suits are hearts and spades, the 2 majors, and here it is very important that we open one heart and not one spade, even though our spades are much stronger than our hearts. And with the third, both our 4-card suits are minors. It isn't a huge deal which of these 2 suits you choose to open, but if in doubt, open the higher ranked suit, so open one diamond. Our third rule applies when you've got 2 5-card suits, and this rule is easier to remember because you always open the higher ranked suit regardless of whether it is a major or a minor. So here, with 5 clubs and 5 diamonds, it may seem more sensible to open one club than one spade, but experience shows that in the long run it works out better to open one spade. If you open one club and the opponents enter the bidding, you may not get a chance to show your spade suit, and if partner has 3 spades, then you'll have missed an 8-card spade fit. I'm going to conclude this lesson with one last rule, well, more of a guide than a rule. With unbalanced hands, it's often winning bridge to open the bidding with a shapely hand of just under 12 points. use the rule of 20 to guide you. The rule is that if you add the number of points in your hand to the number of cards in your two longest suits, and that gets you to 20 or more, then you may open the bidding. So let's look at these three hands and see whether they qualify for an opening bid. Well, hand A is a classic rule of 20 opener. You've got 11 high card points, and using the rule of 20, you add to that the total number of cards in your two longest suits. Well, you've got a 5-4 shape there, which is 9. Add that to 11, that's 20. So you qualify to open the bidding, and so you've opened the bid in your longest suit by opening one heart. Hand B has only 10 high card points, but with that lovely 5-5 shape, you've got 10 high card points plus 5 spades plus 5 hearts, that's 20. So you open one spade. Hand C satisfies the rule of 20. You've got 11 high card points plus 5 clubs plus 4 diamonds, but your long suit clubs is very weak. You should pass with this hand. The rule of 20, as I said, is more of a guide than a rule. The more you play bridge, the less you will be reliant on gadgets like this, and you'll be able to use your judgment to decide whether or not to open or not to open. And that brings us to the end of this first lesson in our beginner course. In lesson 2, we will learn about how to respond to partners opening one no trump bid. And if you're not a member of our school and have found this video lesson on YouTube and would like to find out more about us, then please visit our website and then click Get Started. And don't forget to click subscribe so that you can watch out for further YouTube lessons in our modern ACOL course series for beginners and for improvers. Thanks for watching. Bye.